Welcome to Condition Red Radio. I'd like to give a big shout out to the Memphis Murder Men. That was Devil's Night in the USA off the album Kill Punk Rock. And I really appreciate the guys letting us use it. Welcome to Condition Red Radio. I'm Philip Johnson, of course, Combatives. I'm here with my co-host, Josh Beal, and we are in the studio with our guest, Eli Miller of Red Meat Steel. Eli is a medical expert. He's got a pretty extreme background, got a lot of subject matter that we'd really like to cover with him today. But instead of me giving an introduction, I'd like to let Eli tell us a little bit about himself, if he could.
And happy to be here. Thanks for having me. But I definitely wouldn't categorize myself as an expert. Not
Close
in the
enough.
medical field at all.
Close enough. You know more than us.
If I say anything, I'd say someone who has learned through failures, mishaps, and everything, and legitimately tried to learn through it and make improvements from it, and still constantly learning every day. So a student of medicine, you should say.
Awesome.
And a true believer that it's always practicing.
Always learning.
Awesome. So one of the things I was thinking, knowing a little bit about your background and everything, but I'd just like to see where people came from. So when you were growing up, what were you like? What were you like as a kid?
Man, as a kid, I was a shit.
I think we all were, man.
Yeah,
No, I was a great kid.
Yeah, okay. Lie
So
to us all.
the book I handed you as we came in here, the reason I met that gentleman was because he was a TAC officer at the military school that I went to.
Oh, nice.
So when I say I was a shit, I was a shit. And but interest young, sports, baseball, soccer, stuff like that, but outdoors. Fishing, hunting, pretty much anything outdoors, camping, doing a lot of stuff, into Jeeps as a kid, but definitely into firearms, shooting when I was younger with my father, and just a general daydreamer.
So yeah, definitely like
yeah.
an athletic kid, outdoors type kid,
Yeah.
always doing stuff like that. So that I guess the military school, is that when you went to military school, is that where you made up your mind that you were going to join?
For the most part, my father had been in the Army and had said, I'd expressed interest in it, and he'd always told me that if I wanted to be a leader, like be an officer or something, I needed to know what it was to be like to be enlisted from the lowest level.
Nice.
And
That makes sense.
and that was something that had made sense with me and really rung home, especially after all my mom's family was officers. Every
Gotcha.
one of them was officers.
So were you the first enlisted or no?
No, my dad was enlisted.
Oh, okay.
His dad was enlisted. Everyone on my dad's side has spent enlisted time. Everyone on my mom's side was officers.
Interesting.
And it was a big thing, me coming out of military school and putting
Which
in...
direction you were going to go?
Yeah, because I applied to the Citadel and got accepted, and then to a
Wow.
number of other places, and offered ROTC scholarships and different things like that. And I was like, I kind of had my mind made up on that learning period first, and seeing what those years were. And, the structure of the military school had seemed to work well with me, and I needed that some more.
Get your ass in line.
Yeah.
Okay. How would you say that your military background ties into making and producing blades?
Just being an end user. I've definitely been into knives since I was a kid, from little case double X's and
Yes.
multi-dot knives, collecting them, and sunfish, panfish, elephant toenails, all the case knives. I loved them as a kid. Old Barlow's, stuff like that. And
Yes.
first
Yes.
real pocket knives was a little baby Gerber PST.
Dude,
And
am I the only
and
one that remembers the Barlow knives? The handles would come off after a week, right?
I bought them
They'd
at
just
Ace
fold
Hardware,
off.
at True
Every
Value
time.
Hardware, and man, I remember how bad it was the first time I lost. The first knife I ever lost was my Gerber PST, and because I had it in the back pocket of little Umbro shorts when I was pushing the lawnmower.
Yeah. Did
I
your
was
dad
like,
kick your ass too?
I had to, have it. No, I don't think he ever found out about it. Maybe
That's
I don't
good.
know.
Man, I haven't thought about Barlow
my dad-
knives in 100 years. That's crazy that you mentioned that.
Yeah,
now.
my dad would have killed me if he knew I lost my first knife.
I had that, and but man, the thing that got me, that really had got me hooked, is one of my favorite knives ever that I got when I was a teenager was a Tim Wagner Spyderco.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
And
Yeah.
in the classic with the partial serrations and the big hole and everything like that, and I loved that knife. And I happened to be at Blade Show for a year, 1 year before I was even doing anything at all with blades, and I was there with SOE for gear stuff. And somebody introduced me to Tim Wagner.
Oh,
And I was
you're
like,
this guy.
this is like reality coming. This is real.
Full
like
circle
these
right
people
there.
exist. Like these
Yep.
are real people. They make these knives. They design this stuff. These are everyday people
Right.
meeting somebody. And it was cool and knowing people in it. But being an end user, I've, utilized knives from anything from opening MREs to cutting tire stems to doing stupid stuff to boxes to trying to cut Kevlar paneling, like legitimately using and abusing and tearing up a knife as a tool.
Ripping
Right.
open pallets of fucking ammo and shit.
Stupid stuff,
Yeah.
breaking down pallets to cook
Yeah.
with and doing all kinds of shit.
Absolutely.
And with that, I said, hey, what can I do a little differently that I like?
And then I was thinking about when we were talking earlier, so to kind of jump off subject or to back it up a little bit. So you decided, obviously, to go into the military. What was it that then was your next step? You're like, all right, not only am I joining, but I want to do something along like these medical lines. What was that interest? Like, what brought that about?
Well, this was right at post 9/11 coming
Okay.
about. I kind of saw what was going on. I knew some friends of mine that had been early on deployers with guys I'd grown up with 10th Mountain that went over, people from my military school and other people I knew. And one specifically who had gotten wounded early on and really credited like him being there to his medic, to their doc.
Okay.
And what it meant, like what doc was so much more than just a Band-Aid or a bullet hole plugger
definitely.
and stuff like that. But what all was involved with that. And that was something that had stuck with me because being a medic was not my path. Like my initial path that I wanted was 19 Delta Cav Scout.
There you
Yes.
And I went to a Cav unit as a medic and stuff for a bit and got to see a good side of it. But
So you didn't start out as a medic then?
no.
Oh, okay.
And so, but seeing that, learning and seeing, I guess, what medics did and how involved it was something I had an interest with. And I really had to look at it then at that time as, what's something that actually makes a difference. Everybody can pull a trigger.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody can do this. And I'm not saying that's still the first mission as a medic is security number one on it. But after that hierarchy there, what actual skills are you bringing to the table? What do you have now that you can utilize later on?
Yeah. Especially after you get out of the military and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, still, it doesn't get you that. It'll get you somewhere, but not that far. You have to advance and do stuff and seek additional training and certifications and continue to do it. But what they give you, textbook and buy the curriculum for your MOS and whatnot, is definitely not enough.
Yeah, I remember when I was in the Guard, my medic was kind of a joke. Like, it was like pulling teeth to get fucking ibuprofen or fucking Band-Aid from.
Ibuprofen. You mean
Yeah.
Motrin?
Motrin,
Yeah, I got Motrin, I
ibuprofen.
got socks, and I got two
Let me
canteens
get some of that
full of
candy,
water.
Doc.
What
Let me
else
get
do you
some of
want,
that
dude?
candy.
What else do you possibly want? Yeah, man. So that's crazy. So you're out there. Do you feel that going out into the field, it was almost like I know you got a core set of skills, but once you're out there, is it like on the job training? Are you learning from other docs as you go? It's like I know they tell you to do this, but this is how it really goes down out here in the field. Like,
So, this is something I've really had to come to terms with because, like I said, I enjoy the student aspect and the learning aspect, and part of the learning has been through the hardships and how I've processed them and what I've done with it to change things and whatnot, and what I've realized. The 16 weeks of Army Medic School, at that time 91 whiskey, and it's now 68 whiskey, and I transitioned and everything, was not enough. It was that bare minimum to get you ready going when everything was going, deployments were high and everything. And, you might do your clinical rotations there at BAMC at Brooks Army Med Center in the cath lab, at cardiac lab, or doing ortho or doing this or that, but it's not necessarily, other than field exercise, going to prepare you for a lot. And not that anything really can, but once you get to a unit, you get somewhere, you deployed into a
OJT.
combat zone or something and go, like, you might be seeing your first doses of medicine there. And I went from training stuff to not having experience to not gone to the civvy side and worked EMS, then gone to deploy. I went from training and then deployed, and that was
straight up.
first time seeing real medicine. And we had we just had junior medics with no deployment background in our unit.
Wow.
And that was a big thing in that time.
Do you ever see somebody that was just like new to the unit and just like get just dropped off in the shit and just like freeze up, just like holy fuck, like because I know what you see probably stateside in a hospital doing a rotation to what you see out in the field is probably like so different.
You know, I did. I learned really quick. We were in our RIP process, our relief in place, when we were relieving the other unit. We were replacing somebody, and we were still doing like left seat, right seat ride. Like one of their TCs would be in our vehicle with us, and one of our guys would be up gunning, driving XYZ, and doing everything
So
on
they didn't
missions.
just drop you guys off and be like, see ya.
Right. It's a transition in place, so
Gotcha.
you know to continue the mission, build those relationships, what you have, and keep them going. But the first time I had to do medicine was within the first 2 weeks in country. And it went from being buttoned up in an armored vehicle to getting out on my own to going to a vehicle where someone was down after multiple IED strikes. And with everything else that ensued at that time, and this is about 3 a.m.
Wow.
When this is going down on a recovery mission. And it was learning from right there. Had never done anything. I knew my aid bag. I unzipped it. I had stuff packed. I had it labeled. I had a headlamp on with my helmet and everything to go with my aid bag. At that time, I was freaking stupid running a giant aid bag, which was at that time way too big, old Black Hawk bag, big, the
I remember those.
pre-stomp one or so before I'd slimlined to stuff, and it was like a big freaking turtleback. And that and a weapon and going to literally do work, like getting out right after everything's going on. And that was learning right there.
That's one thing that always struck me is like for somebody, the chaos of battle. Like even if you're at a hospital and like something's about to happen, there's about to be an operation, the doctor's like, all right, everybody needs to leave the room and it's all quiet and everybody wants to concentrate. And you don't have that luxury. Shit's blowing up around you. People are getting shot.
Rounds
People
flying over your head.
This was like our second or third time out the wire. Like we're doing our relief with them. They're showing us like landmark areas, how to do our, continue our 5s and 25s, our scan for IEDs and whatnot. And, hey, be noticeable this time of year. People are out on these rooftops here. They've got their water tanks up there. They're checking on stuff at night, or they're sleeping out here, XYZ stuff. And like they're telling us this is learning. We've only got, like right at 2 weeks of time with these people to learn from them pretty quick.
How do you get to that point where you can, I guess for lack of a better, term, you can block everything else that's going on around you and concentrate on that person that needs your attention, knowing that there's hostile people around you who would like to kill you just as well as them.
But you can't. See, that's the number one thing. You can't just zone everything else out. You have to be cognizant of what's going on around you, because the medic has to be a force multiplier. If you get taken out for any reason because you're not knowledgeable of what's going on, you don't have the proper situational awareness, you're not, number one, practicing security and managing a threat first, then you can't manage your one patient you have there or anyone else on your squad or platoon who might get hit.
Yeah, if you go down, there's
that's
nobody else
There's
there.
no one to replace you, and it's going to take at least now 2 or 3 little litter bearers, casualty, collection dudes to run out, get you and whoever else your patient was, because you weren't maintaining security or you were doing something out of order. You were working without hard cover and doing something under fire you shouldn't have been doing.
Beyond your means, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I would just think that's...
And you're putting more
something-
people in danger.
Yeah, no,
that's an incredible...
You can't. You have to do mental triage on everything every time.
Yeah, that's an incredible skill to be able, because I just feel like, me personally, like I know that I get like real like task fixated about something.
In the zone.
I would just like, I would immediately lock in, and then I just like, fuck, like all this shit is going on around me too. You've got to be able to do this stuff. So that's like, I don't think people maybe realize how hard of a situation that is to be in. That's incredible.
I would say, I'm sure you probably agree with me, Eli, multitasking is crucial at that point.
Well, yeah, 100%. Just the same way you work a weapon in front of your workspace, you want to see the mag well, you want to see through the trigger guard if you're talking a handgun or even a rifle, doing your mag changes in front of you, visualizing the threat still, whatever you're doing. You want to be aware of your patient. You want to be aware of where your long gun is, tucked under your arm, where your aid bag is. Is it open all the way? Is it still closed? If I have to drag this person right now, am I going to lose all my shit? Is it attached somehow? My shears, where are they? Are they tethered? Do I have light? Can I see what the hell's going on? You have multiple things that you have to put in the whole picture.
Here's a question for you. From that point, when you said that it was the first time that you had to actually practice medicine, like in the shit, to a point where maybe 6 months later, and you were kind of like the salty guy, right? What 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 changed in that period? Like, how long did it take to get to a point where you felt comfortable and were like, I own this?
Did you ever feel comfortable in that situation?
And yeah, do you?
No. In short words, no. I feel comfortable that, I know where my equipment is. I've done my PCCs and PCIs, my combat checks and inspections.
And you said you slimline your gear a lot too.
Yeah, 100%. And I know the layout of it. I've made, pull tabs on stuff, or I've put Kim light spots in it to where clamshells open. I snap the lights. I have visibility of everything. Like, I've done little things to make the process hopefully easier, but still under threat and under that situation, under adrenaline. There's so many things going on
every time.
Like, you have to work through it, but you can get better at things because you've made it easier. You've taken multiple parts out of the equation now after so many slips, trips, and falls. Take the shit out of your pathway if you're going to walk forward.
Right. I think that's one thing that everybody here would probably agree on is when you're in a situation like that and you're like, okay, this is the gear I actually need out here. I don't need this. I don't need this. This doesn't work. This gets in my way. But it rarely, or maybe you would disagree with me, it rarely makes it back to the school where they originally trained people. Are they taking that? They have such a resource to take that knowledge out of the field and be like, all right. But I feel like, especially anything with the government, right? They're like, this is the course. This is how we're going to teach it. And then your learning curve is out there.
So that's the one thing I've been able to do, or I think that I've been able to do a little bit, and I specifically mean that by design. I have learned what has worked for me better, and I go off a practice of good, better, best with what I have available, and then what I would really love to have available. If budget's, not a question or anything. And for going on right at almost 10 years now, I've been doing gear design with special operations equipment, with SOE. And doing most of their medical line, their vehicle med bags, their compact tear-off VOC, medical satchels, the sling bags, stack micro rigs with tear-off VOCs, number of rigs and stuff, but tons of medical stuff, from low-profile aid kits to stock-mounted kits with just the bare minimum stuff that you cannot easily replicate. What are the means to legitimately help keep someone alive? I've been able to take what I think and what I've seen work and what I would have loved to have had,
making
that wish list, and putting it together and having that layout.
See, that's awesome.
And that stuff is actually getting into the hands of people who actually need it.
Man, there's a lot of dudes out there running these bags. I mean, when you can say that, thousands upon thousands of each model, to the tens of thousands probably of some, have been produced. And so many times people put on Facebook, I use my vehicle med bag here, at a rack, or officers. I use my tear-off
like that all the time.
I use my tear-off compact, IFAC, or the VOC, or this or that, and it's something that I had a part in. I like that because I was like, it was because of this, and this is now that we have that. Like, I legitimately get to see my learning on that.
That's awesome. That is really awesome. Without prying, it's like, I want you to talk about what you want to talk about. And but was there ever just like an out of control, oh shit situation that you would even think about talking about here? Just something that was just completely out of control, like one of those stories. Like, if I told somebody the story, no one's going to believe this is true, but it's true.
Man, that article, if you were to read little bits and pieces of it, it talks about just the sheer numbers of patients and stuff I saw, that we saw in Mosul, and while it was still under ISIS control, from aftermath of suicide bombers within the hundreds of yards away, to, people being brought in 10 or 12 at a time in the back all deuce and halves, or in the back of little technicals and Hiluxes, or 3 or 4 dudes wrapped in blankets with open femoral wounds, wrapped in blankets on the top of Humvees and shit, and just overload. And it's not something that you typically see. It's not something that, I legitimately saw working on the Army side as well, and most people don't, seeing mass casualties and stuff. You see after IED strikes, 1 or 2 people, maybe in a convoy if a vehicle was hit, or firefight a couple of people, but you're usually not seeing 15, 20, 30 repeat casualties and stuff.
Yeah,
you're
that's a
not
lot.
getting to the point of going through fixed standard supplies, commercial stuff, and saying, oh, fuck, what are we doing now? Or what are we, doing because this is arose? And it's only here that we have this issue, I guess I've been fortunate to go to some places and be there and legitimately learn, as well as practice something that I legitimately label myself as being pretty solid at. It's something that, I have a hand skill for it more than I have a mindset skill of it. But I've been able to mix the two and it take me some places. Open-mindedness is something that I've learned. I'd say that. But as far as
Not being afraid to think out the box.
yeah, as far as one specific event, though, I mean, one that has driven me and shaped me and changed my life was my very first patient ever. The very first American ever, somebody who, I had talked to on the radio within 10 minutes before that. And that's one that, we all, or a lot of us who have been in these situations, we have that. And that's the one that, we will all know as ourselves is the biggest oh shit one that people won't believe, because it's the one that shapes you the most.
Oh, definitely.
If you allow it. And you can either, keep going and progress forward and learn from that. In my first deployment, I learned so quick that I didn't know shit. I mean, I didn't know shit. So got home, I'd
say
do.
that's probably the biggest lesson ever.
I enrolled in paramedic school when I got home after that deployment. From learning from it, and it wasn't to backseat quarterback myself always, but I'm like, if I had, I don't want to say if I just known, if we had seen this or now seen something else or more advanced techniques or known more specific to airway stuff, even though, knowledge is what it is, but field medicine is just that, practicing something in the field.
Yeah, I'd say it's definitely it's definitely a huge leap from, reading about it and understanding how things work and then actually seeing it in front of you. Reading about somebody bleeding out on the fucking ground. It's a lot different than actually being there and dealing with it, I'm sure.
Well, I'm not speaking for all the medics, but I'll speak for myself and say I think it's not the ones that you can affect an outcome right there. It's the ones that really stick with you a lot of the times, are the ones that no matter what you do, no matter what tools you have in the toolbox, there's just nothing that is gonna fucking change this.
Yeah.
It is just what it is.
It is what it is.
And you have to learn from it to not take it in vain. So that that person, no matter who they were, good, bad, indifferent, ugly, so that at least you learn something there that hopefully can help you save someone else's life one day.
Further on down the line.
You have to take something from it.
Right, that makes total sense. That's like something that's a horrible situation, but if you could take something away from it that maybe you could apply further on down the road that actually does save somebody, then as bad as it is, it wasn't maybe totally in vain, So post-military, so you get out of the military, and then what's next?
Man, I kind of bridged a little bit while I was finishing out my time with the assignment I had. I was able to pick up a little piece of property, a little mini farm, and at the time while being in, kind of do a little homesteading and raising a couple chickens and some sheep and goats and stuff to a pig or two, and it kind of turned into a little more than homesteading and more to farmsteading, and then some people tried some stuff, and it kind of went a little bit, and I got into a little bit of farming, sold some meat, some bacon, some sausage,
Nice,
some steaks, some stuff like that. But it was a learning thing. No one in my family has ever messed with agriculture, I'll say that, and there's a lot of, again, like I said, I like to learn.
That's cool. So everything's just like a massive. That's this life to like a massive learning curve. You just got to jump in. Everybody's gonna tell you how it goes, and you got to go jump in the shit and be
just to see how it really goes.
How's it really go?
Like 30% of or so, like besides the fundamentals, there's still some other things, maybe like 30% or so, that really carry over from human medicine to animals, like very easily, you know. And I like the responsibility aspect of it for what it was.
That was the funny thing that actually Josh and I were having this conversation the other day. I was like, that's one of my ongoing things. I'm like, I know like my medical shit is weak, right? I said that's one of the things that I think that like we always talk about. What are you going to work on? What's next? What are you trying to? So it's like I definitely got to work on my medical. And Josh is like, well, you don't have any, and I'm like, well, not that I don't have any. I've got a little bit. And he's like what? And I was like, well, my grandfather was a veterinarian, and I grew up working in his office. So I'm like, last ditch, I might be able to clamp you off. Like I would hand him all his instruments and everything, and sit there and watch him, you know, operate on dogs and stitch them up and everything else. So I was like, so I have a little, but you probably don't want me on there unless your name is Sparky. But yeah, that's awesome, and it's funny that you brought the veterinary side of it in there as well. One of the things I was thinking too when you were just talking about that, your medical training. Have you ever used it outside of the military? Have you been in a situation that was like, hey, this person's fucked up. Is there anybody that can do anything? And then you're like, I could help out.
Yeah, I can definitely answer yes to that. One of the restaurants that was selling my pork, a pretty high-end farm-to-table place in the city I was living in, they were doing a menu change, and the chef would always have me in when they do menu changes. I'd go sit at the bar, do my thing, enjoy a nice steak, nice piece of fish, you know, have a good dessert, maybe a drink. Legitimately enjoy myself and enjoy a really good meal with a place who supported me as a farmer. And as an event venue downstairs, old warehouses converted into restaurants and different things.
Cool.
And this was a Friday night, and this was October of 2015. And the manager and maitre d's told everyone to come to the center of the building, and I told people to get away from the windows and come to the center. There were people yelling outside, and I said something over to one of the managers. I was sitting at the bar, said, hey, what's going on? They said, somebody's been shot outside, and there's somebody shooting. And I'm like, are they still shooting? What's going on? I said, we just know that somebody outside out front has been shot.
Wow.
And I was like, just open the door, let me out. And my vehicle was out front. I had a tourniquet in my pocket, which I still always carry one.
Naturally.
And went up, opened my car door, which was parked right out front. Grabbed a tear-off VOC off a SOE chest rig I had in there, and walked across the street, and there was a young female on the ground who had been shot in the thigh. And deep packing, direct pressure on that, Israeli bandage after packing that wound with H&H compressed gauze. Because there are people just like literally standing around praying.
So there's just people on the street just watching.
They're praying, laying hands. I'll show you. You can see the screenshots later from some of these groups.
Was there people sitting there videotaping it too on their phones?
As they say, laying hands. They were praying for her, and she's on the ground.
Maybe it was just their attempted direct pressure.
They told me that somebody else was worse, and I'm like, who else? And they're like, upstairs. I'm like, upstairs where? Because I'm across the street now. And they're like, the building that you came from. And I was like, I didn't know that you could really go upstairs. And then I'm like, it's this event venue. And as I start heading over there, this one lone beat cop is coming down the street and running over there. And I'm like, hey, I'll get behind you. And we end up going up the stairs. And there's a rather large affair going on, about 150 plus people all at the front. And it's... Well, it's not my normal scene. I would put it like that.
Yeah.
And not with just one security element. There's one police officer, and we go up there, and there's people standing around to open doors, and it's to a bathroom, and they're like, he's in there, and the cop goes in, and I go in, and there's a guy sitting on the vanity top on a double vanity sink, and he's taking around this clip that looks like the brachial artery right there going,
shit.
and he's spraying about 12 feet across the room.
What?
And it's just right here, coming down from the top of the shoulder down right here. Was able to get a cat tourniquet on him, and ended up carrying this guy down the stairs with that cop, and laid him out. We went down. It was right at 3 flights of stairs total because the elevator was broken. That's when we went up the stairs, and set him on the sidewalk, and put my stuff up, and my coffee had gotten cold, but they brought my cake.
There you go.
And yeah, it's practical. I mean, I stop at wrecks. People have wrecks on my road. Like, you've been to my house.
Definitely.
Like, there's a curve right there. Year and a half ago, car went completely off and like into the big ravine over there that runs to the creek and stuff. We have, a good bit of wrecks, and, if you being over there, we're right at about 28-minute response time.
Yeah, you're literally in the middle of fucking nowhere.
From EMS, yeah. So, it legitimately does come in handy.
Well, with that being said, what would you consider essential medical supplies for, like, the average EDC for a, just a regular person?
Knowledge.
Nice. That's the best answer
fair.
ever.
That's fair.
Knowledge.
Yeah.
The decision to act. Those are the top two things, like actual knowledge to do something, and to the decision to say, hey, I actually need to do something. I'm going to do something.
Yeah.
And then equipment comes next. Again, like good, better, best.
Yeah.
But a quality tourniquet, a quality COTC, Committee on Tactical Combat Casualty Care, endorsed and recommended tourniquet. Let me just put it like that specifically. A quality occlusive dressing is good to have. A non-permeable material, whether it be one of the commercially available ones or petroleum gauze. There's some nice ones that fit in small pocket kits. I like stuff on ankle rigs. It's just not as easy to quickly replicate something like that, an occlusive. A packing material, if you're gonna go ahead and carry something and have the room in a pocket or ankle kit, and you're gonna have a packing material, some type of compressed gauze, it might as well be one impregnated with a hemostatic agent.
So do you prefer the Celox or?
It's whatever's free. No.
There you go.
No.
Fucking gunpowder and a lighter.
No. I have bought, purchased with my own money, but also been given and utilized stuff under services of others. Whether it be Z-Medica products, QuickClot, I've used years and years ago, from powder stuff to the ACS sponges in the multi-gram forms to combat gauze itself. I've used Hemcon bandages, not a packing material, but again, something with an agent with it. Used some Celox products. The Celox Rapid and the QuickClot, combat gauze, or the trauma gauze from QuickClot, are neck and neck, top quality, both companies.
So you said they're pretty much both on point.
I don't see anyone really going into that in more than a fair fight.
Okay.
That's pretty fair.
Cool.
As far as that goes. And, if you have the training and felt the need and were in the situation that required it, other than doing finger thoracostomy or things like that, you'd be hard pressed to replicate a quality decompression needle. But again, size, knowledge, what you're packing for. If I know I'm going to get into some shit, I'm going to carry a lot more than just that. But as far as everyday stuff,
to use a decompression needle with the little bit that I know.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing. It's a big thing. Do you have the knowledge? And I'm not going to go use it on Joe Blow or anything like that. We're talking scope of practice. We're talking anything. No, I'm saying it's just something that you're not likely to be able to replicate. If you have the need for whatever it is and feel that that's the only way to change an outcome, that's on you. I don't. So here's the thing. I'm very specific. A lot of people are teach this or teach that, or talk about it. And so, again, I am not teaching anything by a doctrine. I'm showing a way. Not the way, but a way. And I might show you multiple ways. Again, going off good, better, best. These are just options for education. I'm not teaching you a skill. I am just showing you a way merely so that you can hopefully practice or learn from it or build upon to create a skill.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't teach medicine.
Yeah.
Like, I teach a way that has worked.
So where are you
multiple
teaching at
situations.
now?
No, I mean, I sometimes teach on contract for other companies.
Okay.
I'll be teaching a multi-day event coming up the week before Blade Show in Texas.
Really?
I'll be teaching in Bastrop, Houston area with Lone Star Medics, with Dr. Sherman House, with Carl. I don't personally know him. Rents. I'm butchering his name. I can't remember it.
Yeah.
But he's a published author, shooting instructor, runs a school out there and stuff,
Wow.
and it's a big MedX live fire scenario based thing that I'll be teaching out there.
Cool.
I'm teaching again as far as scheduled stuff right now. I teach at the PAP Conference. That'll be in August.
Yeah, you had mentioned that the other
in
day.
Ohio. Yeah, and there's tons and tons of great instructors there. All the ShivWorks people.
Mm-hmm.
From William April to Craig Douglas, Greg Ellifritz is there, Larry Lindemann, Tom Givens, Dr. Sherman House, Lauren Pugiles, who's a vet who we do a lot of really awesome program stuff with. Yeah, it's huge training event. Lots of awesome industry people. The Hauts are there for shotgun and stuff. Matt
Really?
and Rob Haut.
Wow.
The Aridus folks. Lots of good sponsors. Tad Gear's been sponsored in the past. We have a lot of good people. PDN, Rob Pincus. A lot of folks are there.
Wow, that is like a
so it's
star-studded
That's like
event. That's
amazing.
crazy.
I've been fortunate enough to teach at that twice and be asked to teach again at it again. So looking forward to it.
Hell yeah.
But I do some private instruction for people or for families who want to learn stuff. And again,
I feel you need to get in on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
so
Atlanta Originals need some fucking medical treatment.
Yeah, we absolutely do. Well, speaking of medical treatment, so I know that that's obviously going to be one, but it's kind of an ongoing conversation we had. If you had to pick the top 4 skills that you would want to develop for self-preservation, not just medically, but just across the board, what would you say?
for self-preservation, like
Self-preservation.
as a whole.
As
And in a chronological order of importance, like one is like the most important thing.
Like legitimate life skill. Oh God, this is like this
is what we call the hot seat.
This is the witness stand here. Like,
Yeah.
let me tell you,
Oh, yeah.
I've been in court, and this is very much like it. This is big. In order of importance, know your place, know
Okay.
when to shut the fuck up, know when to ask questions, and I guess that knowing when to ask questions is knowing when you don't know enough, like to keep going. But as far as skill sets, keeping people alive, like legitimately giving someone a fighting chance that they might not have if 30 other people are standing around them and it's 20 minutes for somebody to get there that does know, maybe you could change an outcome. I think that's a worthwhile skill. I think it's a worthwhile skill to, know different ways to collect and purify water. We can only go so long without it, or ways to harvest food, different things that have different, nutrient capacities to get values out of them, what to do. God, I could say mechanics or welding or some other shit, but self-preservation of life, literally being able to take a step forward, being able to do stuff. A lot of people literally are on the pot all the time and not shitting. And you know what? I mean, I can say it. I've been constipated in life before, but I'm fucking
we all have.
shitting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Fuck yeah.
so it's about being able to do something, making decisions. But again, preserving your life, knowing a defensive tactic, whether it be unarmed combatives or something, or whether it be some blade stuff, or whether it be just general firearms use, something that can do so much more, whether it be for food gathering, whether it be for in defense of yourself or others. I mean, so many different things. I mean, that's a definite big question. I don't think there's any right answers.
Yeah. No right, no wrong. Because it's different for everybody,
Yeah, but I mean, big thing is like be willing to learn. There's so many things that you have to realize that you can't change, but there's a lot of shit that you can if you're just willing to do it.
You know what? After all the answers that we've talked about this, and we've talked about it with other people, having a willingness to learn, that might be the correct number one answer.
That definitely is
that
the
might
correct
because there's so
number one
much
answer.
you don't know.
Yeah.
If it's like, that's bullshit. But if you would have just learned that, there might be a point in time when you're like, oh man, if I just would have paid attention, now I would have this skill that I could use right
But
now.
I don't.
But I don't, and I
Yep.
didn't. So
Because I
maybe
didn't
a
have the willingness
to learn.
to shut the fuck up.
Maybe a willingness
That's
to learn
part
is
of
awesome.
the assessment right there. Like, what am I seeing? What's the whole picture here? What can it tell me all the way? Like, and if I don't take advantage of that, I'm doing myself or others a disservice.
Definitely.
Yeah, no, that's a great answer. That's my new
Oh, yeah.
favorite number one answer.
Definitely.
Is willingness to learn. I'm gonna write that down somewhere. So I have to look at it every day. So let's talk a little bit about also red meat steel knives for people that don't know about it, because they are awesome knives. So how'd you get? I know a little bit about, Josh and I have talked, and I think we talked about it one time too when you were telling me about it. I was like, "What'd you start this?" And I was like, "I was actually going to make kitchen knives." And
Man, it honestly, it started as a like actually making my own and making one myself, or under the help of others, was therapy. Like, no bullshit, it was therapy.
I can see that, definitely.
I started and made a kitchen knife, a Santoku, out of saw blade steel, and I did it out of a shop, from a person who I'm still fortunate every day to learn something from and to work with to this day. It's been able to continue, and it went from, I wanted a focus on kitchen knives because I was doing so much with chefs and doing so much with meat.
Yeah,
and
that just
stuff.
makes sense.
And I love to cook, and grew up doing it.
And Phil, he is a fucking amazing cook. Let me
Really?
tell you. Yeah, dude. Next time we have him on here, we're going to have to make him bring meat with him.
So it was something I wanted to do, and I, made a utility knife here or there, and people are like, "Well, you know about some other shit." So put that thought into it. And I'm like, "There's so many people doing all this other stuff," but it's what. Yeah, if you want to actually do something and be able to do it, and if you're going to put a label on it and be serious about it and make it a marketable product in a business, then you have to go not just with what you want to do, but what's
everybody
customer
wants.
driven.
Exactly.
And so, we adapted to that. And I was able to go again with design and end user and put that into it. And they've seemed to be doing well.
With that being
people
said,
people seem to enjoy
are
them.
awesome
Yeah,
knives.
it's fucking phenomenal.
Dude, I'm sitting here,
I've got
hey,
one right here that I've had it for what, 3 weeks now, 2 weeks now.
Yeah, I think so,
I've
that
carried it every fucking day. Like, it's fucking phenomenal. It's the fuck off, right?
That is.
Yeah, it's a double-edged, smaller version of the Jambi.
It is. It's a little
Yeah.
bit smaller, yeah.
It's fucking phenomenal. So Philip's over here thinking about how he can fucking steal it from me.
I've already got a plan on how I'm
Yeah.
getting it. So
But anyways, with that being said, what's the reasoning behind the names of your blades? Like, how do you go about naming your blades? Because I know you have like a theme.
They definitely have some
kinda
different
going on.
names.
I like to say colloquialisms,
Yeah.
like the normal stuff that I heard as a kid, from whether it be like my dad's eclectic taste in music, stuff I remember as a kid, to, whether it be something I saw on TV or something, or
Okay.
or just terms I heard, or music, or,
Yeah.
and I already said that, but yeah, like it's just different things that come to mind, or little nuances.
Yeah, because your knife, the names of your blades definitely have like an eclectic feel to it, kinda.
And some of them have some lineage type names,
Yeah.
like the Jambi, where a lot of people are like, "Hey, that's the name of a song,"
Yeah.
and I'm like, well, like Persian coming to manhood, the blade given to youth coming to manhood as an adult, ceremonially, is a jambia, that curved Persian style blade, double edge, but it's a straight handle, not a curved one. And I like the teardrop, that curved handle, because it
definitely.
adds to the fulcrum, the actual holding point to that style of knife right there, and the ergonomics of it, what I like. So it's my adaptation of it, but to me, it gives credit to the lineage of it.
That's so much cooler now that I know what it means.
I've got a field blade called the Jundi, and it's got a pretty nice Persian sweep on it, and the tips on it's pretty gnarly. It's 3/16 thick, and it's just the Jundee, like a Universal Soldier kind of
Fucking
thing.
beefy as shit.
Do-all,
Yep.
real beefy. First line, battle belt type knife. Bust up crates, do whatever, pry shit. It's a tool kind of thing,
Gotcha.
like a soldier. But yeah, others just have, just names.
Yeah.
Shit.
So out of all the ones that you make, what's your EDC? Like, what do you carry every day on you?
I typically carry a Jambi.
Okay.
Today,
I know you have that custom one that you carry a lot.
Well, that's the original. It was one.
Oh, is it?
1095 is the prototype. I sometimes keep the prototypes, and like we just did a run of Slim Pickens, and so because of that,
those are pretty dope.
I'm carrying the original Slim Pickens, which is one I did, and it's a different type of texture and handle, and it's one of my favorite knives. So much of a favorite that the person who bought it was nice enough to trade it in to me for a brand new updated version.
Really?
Because and some other stuff because I love this knife. Grab a hold of that thing, like literally. I just love.
That's the Slim Pickens?
That's the prototype, the original.
Okay.
It's got
You
real
sold that?
That was the original. Yeah, I mean, I was
What are
like,
you thinking, dude?
You can't keep everything, man. We're in the
Yeah, but
business
I mean,
of
come on.
selling.
Don't
I
go Josh
know.
that. He's got a
Come
box
on,
with
man.
everything.
I got it back, and that's
Dude,
one of
I
my,
dig the
that's one of
fuck
my
out of
favorites.
this.
And I was like, I'm coming to Georgia. It's not. It's a single edge. Hey,
Yep.
I'm gonna roll over here. So,
I dig that.
but that was like practice all right there. The first one, and of that, and that's one of my, as far as our blades that I carry. Yeah, I carry knives that other friends of mine make, a lot more as well.
Okay.
Very cool. What else you got?
So, with that being said, every time we have somebody on the show, I always make them empty their pockets out on the table and tell me what they're carrying. No, I mean, you don't have to pull everything out, but like, just what's your typical EDC? Like, what do you carry on you on the daily, other than your car keys and your cell phone and your wallet? You know? Like you said, you carry a tourniquet.
Yeah, in specific brand right now, we're soft T widen in the pocket right now, which is something that I normally carry that for actual pocket carry. It's something to me easier to use, and I'm very comfortable using it one-handed. And for the needs that I have and what I've seen, I like that. As far as ankle med rigs, safer, faster defenses rig, Izzy quick clock combat galls, 14 gauge decomp. Again, case by case, as needed.
Naturally.
Not saying everybody needs a decomp here, people. Occlusive dressing, the beacons are nice compacts, and then the Sentinel kits as well have compact ones. Actual utility, I use a fixed blade. To me, is not my utility knife typically, but you can see a tip that I really love. Old Benchmade 940 Osborne, real nice worn blade. One of my favorites. Steinhardt watch. JM Customs or JMac. JM Customs. JMac's the AK. JM Customs. AIWB holster.
Okay.
With a M&P 9 with Dawson rear, Wilson Combat green fiber optic front, Apex full trigger kit, flatty in it.
All right.
About 11,000 rounds through this one now.
Nice. Nice and worn in.
Number of classes, very smooth. I really like it.
Cool.
I'm a Fed HSD person predominantly, 147 HSTs. And
Either those or Spirit Gold Dots are my go-tos.
Yeah, so wallet, watch, spectacles, and testicles over here. So, I got it. A phone, a little battery pack. Yeah.
Very
Med
nice.
stuff, a lighter, a couple dollars.
There you go.
And
But wait, there's
Here
more.
we go.
camp heavyweights.
Nice.
There we go.
That's what we're talking about.
Like,
Should we even say what that is, or just let people wonder?
Just let them wonder, bro.
Let them wonder. Nobody's gonna know what this. Oh, I have before. We talked about
That's
one of the
sick.
people he mentioned earlier. That,
that's from Andy Lanois,
yeah?
Andy's
okay.
Leather.
Yes.
Yeah, big fan.
Nice.
that is super sweet.
We'll let that remain secret. So that's all I've got.
Got it. All right. Well, before we let you out of here, we have a little game we like to play. Because we talked about some heavy shit today, so
Yes.
we can't end it like that,
We gotta
right?
end it on a lighter note.
Yeah, so we have a thing we call the lightning round. And these are just ridiculous, random questions that we have. Everybody's in, so everybody has to
Joe
play.
is included.
Joe is
Our
playing.
sound guy.
Everybody
Yeah.
plays. All right. And we're just going back and forth, me and you.
Yeah.
Is that what we got going on?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So I'm gonna start off with pork or cow, Eli.
Oh, pork.
All right.
Cal.
Oh, that's so hard.
I know. That's why I chose it.
Pork.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Pork all the way. All right. What do you got?
All right, here we go. This might start a fight. All right, I'm just going to warn everybody to start off with.
Is this the typical one?
No, here we go.
All right.
Best James Bond.
Oh, that's a
Eli.
new one.
From Russia with Love.
No, best actor. My bad.
Roger Moore.
Shh. Oh, get the fuck out of here with that. Joe, who do you have?
Oh,
do you got,
gosh,
Joe?
I might need to think about it too.
What?
I haven't
There's
seen
no
enough
thinking
of
about it. It's the
them.
lightning round. It's the slowest lightning ever. What do you got?
I mean, it's Roger Moore or Sean Connery.
It can't be either or. It has to be one or the other.
I'd go
But
with
I like 'em
Connery.
both.
I'll
Yeah.
say Connery.
I like 'em
You got
both.
Connery?
Yeah.
If I have to choose one, I'll go Connery.
Connery?
Connery.
Connery? Daniel Craig.
Get the fuck out of
Thank you.
here.
Yeah, yeah.
Get out
Daniel
of
Craig.
here.
Let me tell you why.
Oh my god.
Sean Connery was gritty, and he was the
Yeah,
number one up
he
until
was.
Daniel Craig. But let me tell you why. Daniel Craig also takes a fucking beating. He's not
He really
Superman.
does.
He gets fucked up. He's
Yeah.
cut. He's hurt. He's all limping around. You never saw Sean
And then he
Connery.
comes back.
You never saw Sean Connery with a bruise on his face or anything. He was
No,
just
he's a pretty boy.
He was. But yeah, he's not prettier than Roger Moore, who's
Well,
like
yeah.
Mr. Slob. He was like a joke. But
Yeah.
Daniel Craig is gritty. That's why I picked Daniel Craig. All
I'll
right.
give you that.
All right, thank you.
All right, what do we got here?
Thanks for giving me that.
You believe in aliens, Eli?
Yes.
Yeah, all day. Phil?
Absolutely.
Joe?
There's got to be something out there.
Definitely something.
We are the lowest common denominator.
Definitely.
All right, here we go. This is another fight starting question. Are we ready for it?
Here we go.
Beatles or the Stones? Eli.
Beatles?
Beatles every time.
Beatles.
Stones.
Get the fuck out.
together.
No way.
Come together
Right
here,
now.
Phil.
Well, okay, I'm gonna have to like give a disclaimer on that one. It's Stones before they stopped doing drugs. Because when everybody got clean, their music just went in.
Nobody's better
garbage.
after sobriety.
No, nobody.
Nobody.
They ruined themselves by getting off of drugs. But I'm telling you, the first couple of Stones album, when everybody was just constantly fucked up, incredible.
Yeah. All right, we're going to go out on a limb here. What's the most ridiculous fact you know, Eli?
The most ridiculous fact I know.
Yeah. Like just straight, like off the top of your head. Like, what's the craziest fucking thing you know?
What street they dumped all the night soil buckets out from the little White House of the Confederacy and all the Confederate buildings when it was downtown Montgomery, Alabama. The name of the street
Really?
where they dumped all the shit on.
What?
I didn't even know about that. Okay, what do you got, Phil?
I got nothing.
Hold
I don't-
on. Like, this
Okay.
is just a history thing.
All right.
It was Union Street.
No shit. That's amazing. That's memorable right there.
Yes. See, I don't know that I have anything that I'm like, this is a crazy fact that only I know. I don't think I have it.
I don't think only I know it, but I paid attention to that.
Right?
Like, from somebody
Well,
telling me
yeah.
that at Old Alabama Town when I was a little kid. Like,
All right, what do you got, Joe?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I can't think of
You
anything
had time
better
to
than-
think, man.
The only thing that like popped in my head was that like male seahorses give birth. And
Yes.
That's not even the most
All right,
ridiculous
Yeah, no,
and
that's
with
great.
that, I'm gonna give it. This is something I was sitting at the dinner table when I was like 7 years old,
Yeah.
and my sister was watching the fucking Discovery Channel, and you know we're sitting at the dinner table that night, and she literally looked at my mom and my dad and me and goes, "Did you guys know you could give a turtle an enema?" And my dad turns around and goes, "What the fuck did you just say?"
You can give a turtle an enema.
Yeah, who knew?
Who knew?
So,
Like,
what do you got, Phil?
all right, here we go. All right. What flavor should green taste like? Joe,
Sour.
what? Give me a specific flavor.
Specific.
You
Specific.
gotta get more specific than that,
More
bro.
specific. Jeez. I'm trying to think of something that is like a sour candy. That's what I.
What
have
should it taste
linked
like?
I'm gonna go
to.
with lime.
Lime.
Ooh.
Eli, what do you have?
pistachio.
Pistachio.
Oh, good answer.
That's what my wife
Good
said. Y'all are
answer.
highbrow.
I thought you were gonna. Don't believe me, man. I'm like, hold this down real quick. Hold on, like.
It's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I was going to go with my first thing that popped in my head, of course, was sour apple.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
that's
because you're
essentially
thinking
what I was
Jolly
thinking,
Rancher
yeah.
syndrome
sour
over
apple.
here. You put
right.
that in your Zima?
Yes, fucking Zima. All
You
right,
get bonus points for the Zima reference.
all right, so pineapple on pizza, yes or no, Eli?
I'm open to pizza. My dad had a pizza place growing up.
Oh,
Like,
fuck, you didn't tell us about that.
Yeah, so I'm
Did he
like,
put pineapple on his pizza?
they sold it that
All right,
way.
cool.
So,
There you go.
yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Hell no.
No?
I'm from Chicago.
Phil-
we don't do that
Phil,
shit.
we-
shit.
There might have been people under the influence of different things.
Yeah.
And at the restaurant, there might have been like fucking awesome bratwurst pizza with like spicy yellow mustard and Zimph and like all kinds of crazy.
Ridiculous.
Nice.
Putting fucking gummy bears on that
crawfish-
shit.
Like a crawfish etouffee pizza, like stupid,
Okay,
crazy, awesome stuff.
I could get
That
down with
seems
that.
awesome, though.
Yeah.
I'm down with all that.
Like you can do crazy. Pizza's universal.
Yeah, I could say that. What do you got, Phil?
What song would you play on repeat to infuriate someone? Josh.
Hatchet to the Head by Cannibal Corpse.
Hatchet to the Head
All day.
by Cannibal Corpse.
Yeah. What do you got, Joe?
I already do it in the office. I do All Star by Smash Mouth.
Yes.
Just ironically.
This is a phenomenal
That's
song.
horrible. Eli.
Clint Eastwood Gorillas. Or Gorillas, Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
That
There you go.
or either Beatles Yellow Submarine. It'll never leave you.
Never.
Oh, that's me.
My wife has already forbidden me from ever playing that song ever again.
so here's my answer.
What do you got?
You can only do it to a select group of people, but it's the Waffle House theme song. So if you go into a Waffle House and look on their jukebox, they have the Waffle House theme song.
I was unaware they had their own theme song.
So let me tell you. So when we were kids, right, we go out and do whatever, and we'd always
into
end up at
mischief.
Waffle House. Somebody had to have a pocket full of quarters. Before we left, you just go start plugging it in there and hit Waffle House theme song about 50 fucking times, and then
dip.
walk out the door, and you just see I've seen the waitresses just walk over and unplug the jukebox. They're like, "Oh, just to hell with this."
All right.
They're stuck in there listening to the Waffle House theme song.
Nice.
Oh,
on
it's
repeat.
brutal.
Here's a crazy one. What kind of cult would you start if you started a cult?
Oh, CULT.
Yeah. Like,
What kind of
like
cult?
don't drink the Kool-Aid kind of a cult.
Oh, well, I mean, if you're starting a cult,
Aren't all cults the
you've
same?
got some Kool-Aid in there.
No.
The be free thinkers and question what is put in front of you.
I like it.
Especially when reporters use other fucking reporters for citations and facts.
That's fucking
Like,
ridiculous, yeah.
Start learning to question
Check
things.
your shit.
Right. I think I would go with my cult would be the cult of the Constitution. And we would follow it like the word of God.
To the letter.
Yes. Like it was intended to
question
be.
it?
And not question it.
And then give every state the chance to not follow it.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's what we do. We would follow the Constitution.
What do you got, Joe? A cult that you would start.
The Earth is square, not round.
Get out of here.
Next step.
It's like everybody can get along. It's not round, but it's not flat either.
Little-
so
little in the
everybody can
middle.
agree, right? It's square. Come on. Let's all get along. Square.
Yeah. You know, that's one of my questions. I didn't even think of an answer. I would probably say, you know, the cult of using your fucking brain. You know, actually, you know, thinking for once.
You're not.
You joined my cult.
I drank the Kool-Aid.
You drank my
I
Kool-Aid.
drank the Kool-Aid. Yeah.
We're good.
Eli, this is Josh. He's the first member of your cult. He's the number one.
Like, what does green taste like? Slide the glass over.
The correct answer
tastes
is
good.
lime. More money or more free time?
Free time all day.
Free time?
Yeah,
Eli?
free time.
Free time.
Free time.
Free time. I'm free time too. I don't have enough money, so I have more free time. But free time is
Exactly.
the answer, right?
Yeah.
Let's see what we
But
got.
I don't mean like sitting on the couch free time, but free time to do the shit that I'd
That
like
you
to
want
do.
to do, you
If
enjoy
I
to
had
do.
all
If
the
I had all the
right.
money.
No, but
That's a
that's the thing.
double-edged
You know
sword.
what? It's find the balance and make that shit. Because like,
Exactly.
if you wait till you have all the right fucking money, you'll never have it. It's
No.
like what
Yeah,
people
yeah.
say about kids and
Yeah.
stuff, and you know what? It's only proven to be true.
That's the thing.
You are
Just
never ready
just
to
go
have
out and
kids, no matter
fucking-
what stage
go
of your
out and
life you're
fucking
in.
do it and go spend money and make money and do it.
Live your
Because at the
fucking
end,
life.
No, at the end of the day, man, money. Here's the thing. If I leave with fucking any information on here, on this show, I'll say this. What have I learned a bit in life? It's about fucking investing.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter how much money you invest, If you lose 10 grand today or 30 grand this year, you always have the potential to make it back. You can get money back. You can get cars back. You can get fucking houses back. You can get any of that. But the time that it took you to get somewhere before, or the time it's going to take you to get somewhere else, you can't get the fucking time back, no matter the investment. It's the one investment you make into stuff that you can never get out, no matter how much of it you put in.
Yeah.
So make it fucking count, man, as far as the investment.
That's always the one thing I wish I had more of instead of money, more time.
Fuck yeah.
Well, it's not about, like, but here's the thing. If you're saying that now, hopefully you've realized that you don't have it, that it's always fucking going.
Oh, yeah.
And you're doing something different about it. It's like once you say, hey, I know this, I know that it's going, that is my watch hands fucking turn, so does my fucking heart, the muscles, they only have so many more. Every day I might not wake up, I might get hit by a fucking 18-wheeler today, somebody might shoot me in the bank, whatever. Like, so what are you doing differently? It's about substantiating that point, identifying it, and legitimately making the change.
Nice.
Definitely. Totally. All right. Going back to more of a lighter note, would you rather go about your day, a normal day, naked, or fall asleep for a year? Joe.
Oh, man, I could use that year of sleep. Might go with that.
I guess we're having naked day.
Fuck yeah.
This is it. Naked day.
Naked day all day, bro.
Naked day.
All right. What do you got, Phil?
Favorite comedian, Joe.
Favorite comedian? I think at the moment, Bill Burr.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's made me laugh really laugh a couple times.
I can't remember his name, but the Asian guy from fucking The Hangover. I watched a couple of his stand-ups the other day.
Ken Jeong?
Yeah. No, that's the Emperor of Korea, bro.
No, I think he's right.
Is it Ken Jeong? I don't
Can I
know.
Google it
I'm not
real
sure.
quick?
Anyway,
Yeah,
Google
I
that.
think that's his name.
Move on. Eli, what do
Rodney
you got?
Dangerfield.
Oh, that's
Yes.
a good answer. Now I'm pissed off you said that. But I'm not really, because Mitch Hedberg.
Okay.
All right.
You know Mitch Hedberg?
I can fuck with that.
Those are,
This guy?
All right, yeah.
Okay,
Joe
yeah,
was
yeah.
right. It is
Yeah.
Ken Jeong, or however you say it.
yeah, Mitch
So,
Hedberg is one of those people that was like, you never get better sober.
Yeah.
But when that dude was just high as a kite, as soon as he'd walk on stage and start like shaking and telling jokes, like, dude, there's nothing funnier to me than that motherfucker. I just look at him and start laughing.
I mean, as far as people today doing shit, like, I do, like, Bam Bam Baklava, he's funny as fuck to me, but Bert Kreischer is
he's pretty funny.
is, like, he's gonna do something. He's gonna say something. He doesn't disappoint you.
I've seen both Bill Burr and Bert live, and both just hilarious.
Nice.
Good shows to see.
Awesome.
All right. I'm going to ask this one, and Phil's not allowed to answer because we all know the answer to this. What's your favorite movie, Eli? Like, just like off the top of your head, favorite movie of all time.
The Quiet Man.
Okay. That's a good one. What do you got, Joe?
I don't have a favorite movie, but I can tell you what movie interested me into the world of audio. And it was.
I'll go with that.
Okay, good. It was the movie Memento, directed by Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, that is a good movie.
It was a good movie, and I saw it in high school. So when I saw it, I was like, okay, I think I want to do something
That's the
creative.
direction.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay, I can fuck with
Very
that.
cool.
Yeah, my favorite movie of all time, not even going to lie, is Fight Club. Hands down.
Nice.
Yeah.
So.
I would agree with that. Well, then I'll give you my second
What do you
favorite
got,
movie.
Phil?
Well, I was going to say Fight Club, but you knew I was going to say it, so you stole my fucking answer.
How many times have you seen that? I've seen it over 1,000 times.
But you know what I used to also watch, like, almost every day when I was getting ready for work?
What's that?
I would just be like, I don't want to go to fuck. I was like, all right, I need to get something going. I would just watch the first 15 minutes of Full Metal Jacket.
Yes.
I just put it on, 15 minutes of Full Metal Jacket, just see everybody get hazed,
Yeah.
and then I would just like go on my merry way. I didn't give a shit about going in country, don't care about Vietnam, do anything.
Yeah.
I just want to watch you get dropped to your platoon and screamed at for a while, and then
And all the funny shit that he said.
Yeah,
You
that's
know
it,
he
that
made all
would
that
leave.
shit up on, like, off the cuff. That was all him.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
None of that was in, all the funny stuff was even in the script.
Right,
He just
no.
made all that shit up.
Absolutely.
And they ran with it. So, Gunny Ermy.
Winter or summer? Josh.
Fucking winter all day, every day, bro.
The Norsemen are here.
Nah.
I'm a summer guy.
Eli, what do you got?
I like summer right now with a adolescent child because we get to do more shit
Yeah,
together.
that is true.
There you go,
Yeah.
Rocco. 100% summer. I'm 100% a summer guy.
Yeah,
Winter
but you can only take so much clothes off unless it's naked day,
It's
bro.
naked day, dude. It's coming up. It's a thing now.
Yeah. All right. Let's see what we got. What's the best Wi-Fi name you've ever seen?
Oh God. I mean, the most common is always like FBI surveillance van. The game is what did I see? I don't know. Hell, somebody. What was it? I don't know. Somebody had a fucking stupid Trump train one I saw the other day when I was at a hotel. It was. I'm just saying, like, just stupid ones off the top. I don't know, but you always see FBI surveillance.
Oh yeah, it's always one around somewhere. What you got, Phil?
I don't know. I can't think of one off the top of my head. I've seen a couple that I thought were kind of humorous. There was one that was just something I can't remember because they had it like spelled out where you had to like, what is that? And but it was basically it said, "Get your own fucking Wi-Fi" is what it ended up being.
I can get down with that. I'm sure you've seen plenty, Joe. What do you got?
I got 2, and I made both of them. Yeah. So the first
I'm
one,
a fan of his own work. I like it.
because as soon as I moved out of my parents' house, it's like it's got to be decent. It's got to be something I can laugh about. The first one's going to really reveal my age. It's a SpongeBob reference. The Wi-Fi router name is this the Krusty Krab? To which the password is no. This is Patrick. The second one. It's my current Wi-Fi. It's very specific. It's from the game Fallout 4. This is so specific. But my buddy who played far more of it than I did, he'll be playing the game, and the dog companion will make this weird sound that it sounds like he's going, "Weh." And that's what the Wi-Fi router is. It's just "Weh." And the password's just Fallout 4.
Wow.
Super, super specific, but it cracks me up when I see it.
My current Wi-Fi is violent motherfucker. But no, the weirdest one. Last time I was in Atlanta for longer than a day for the Libre conference, I was picking up McQueen at the airport, and somebody had one that was assfuck 179.
Oh no!
Yeah,
Wow.
straight up in the airport, assfuck 179.
Why 179?
I don't know.
Why not 69?
That's a good point. That is a good point.
Right?
Yeah, a good question.
Do what you gotta do.
Yeah, what do you got?
Josh, ninjas or pirates?
Oh, fuck. Ninjas.
Cool. Eli,
Pirates.
Ninjas.
Arr.
ninjas. I'm gonna go with ninjas as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
mean-
I don't know you can be like a pirate ninja because I like both of them. I could be easily swayed to one camp or the other. Is that maybe that's something to do with the cult thing? Like this cult is all about pirates, naked pirates,
Naked
pirate
day pirates.
There you go.
Yeah. What's your favorite book, Eli?
Most expensive porn ever produced. That Pirates one.
Really?
It was the spoof of Pirates of the Caribbean.
I've heard about
Yes.
this. I've heard about it. Yeah.
Oh, you've watched it. Don't
I actually have it.
definitely heard it. I know you've heard it. Don't even like.
I have
Joe's
it.
the
was only my
audio guy.
ears.
We know he's seen that.
I say that so confidently because someone in the office has said it. I'm sure she's going to show it to me someday.
Hey, that could be a good time.
No.
You want to watch porn with me?
Pirate porn.
Wow. Eli, what's your favorite book?
Oh. All Quiet on the Western Front.
Okay. Phil?
Favorite book. I'm gonna go with Book of Five Rings by Miyamoto Musashi.
I'm reading that right now.
Yeah,
It's
that's a
fucking
cool book.
phenomenal, man.
There's so many things in there that like
Yeah.
you reread it and you pick things out and you're like, this dude is just dropping like little knowledge bombs all
Yep.
over the place of things. It doesn't have to be about sword fighting. It's a lot about life too.
Yeah, I'm on my second read of that, and it's like, mind blowing every time you reread
Yeah,
it.
that's really. There's a lot of cool books, but for some reason I
Definitely.
keep finding things in that book that like
Yeah.
resonate.
What you got, Joe?
I'm not much of an avid reader.
No?
I can't say even.
Not
have a
even an
book.
online book or a blog.
No, this is my weak point. Is reading.
I'm an avid fan of Dante's Inferno. That was a
Okay.
great fucking book.
Okay.
Nice.
Fucking
the classics.
long read, but it is a good book. So
Very nice answer. Very highbrow of you. All right, this is a two-part question. With Josh, you're going last.
why?
Yeah, because we already know the answers. I disagree strongly.
Fair. Okay.
Eli, cake or pie?
Oh, pie.
Thank you. Thank you.
Stop trying to influence people, cult leader.
He's the cult leader.
and then
I'm the first member.
And then the second part of this question is mountains or ocean?
Mountain.
Mountains all day.
Wow.
Thank you.
Seems like there's a personality type here because I'm cake and ocean.
See? Cake in the ocean. Cake by the ocean was the correct answer.
No.
I looked it up.
No,
I looked it up
no.
on Google. It's true.
Yeah?
Yeah, cake by the ocean is the correct answer. And
I think that's all we've got.
I think that is all I've got.
Joe, you got anything for us?
If you could master an instrument just like that, what would it be?
Oh, that's a good question, dude.
The piano.
Yeah, man. I feel piano. If not piano, cello for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just going to have to go with the guitar.
I already play the guitar, though, so that's kind
No,
of
well, there you go. Well, you okay.
Violin or fiddle.
Yeah.
there you go.
I feel that. Very nice.
My second answer would be the banjo. I'm just saying.
Right, you know,
All right.
I wouldn't have pictured that, but okay.
Yeah.
And it's a doom metal banjo player.
Hey, it's going to be a thing one day. Don't you worry. Eli, you got anything else for us?
Just, willingness to say that you don't know enough and the willingness to say that you need to know more. And if I can take the step to change that shit.
I like it.
Yeah, no, dude, I think that
Definitely.
was said some really cool things today, some really insightful things. I think like Eli is the closest person I know. Eli is like our own personal Renaissance man. Dude, like does it all. It's like insane.
He's like my personal cult leader, too.
Yeah, and he's now your cult leader too. So you got that going. Of course, you can say that. You're always going to take up your cult leader. Just before we head out, man, Eli, like where can people learn more about you? So you went through all the courses that you're going to be teaching. You got the knives.
Knife stuff is www.redmeatsteel.com. You can find us on Instagram at redmeatsteel. My personal on there is just a pig farmer. But yeah, the company that I train under as far as medical stuff, teaching and do some other stuff is Direct Pressure. But as far as knife stuff, Red Meat Steel is the way to go.
So Direct Pressure, they have a website too. They have your courses listed on there and whatnot.
There is a website. It's just not up and active.
Okay.
It's the, like I said,
Get on that shit, man.
I've been constipated. I'm starting to shit. No,
Or get off the pot.
Yeah,
Fuck, man.
no. Like I said, I've been handling some other stuff, focusing on some other things first. But, I'm going to become more active with it because people have prodded and pushed me enough.
And now Phil's going to push you a little more because he doesn't know shit.
But, no, I enjoy it. And, I legitimately can say that I've had people not just say, hey, I've used stuff that you've designed and carried stuff in it, but I've had people that are like, hey, I took a class from you when you were teaching at XYZ in Tennessee or here or there in Texas or here or there in Ohio. And they say, I learned something that I legitimately used that changed an outcome. I was able to do something. I don't know. Like, I know a lot of people who teach and do a lot of stuff, and I don't know, like, any of them that are just like balling out of control with fucking giraffe money. But like, when they hear that and they know that people did something because of something they learned, I know that like that minute they're the richest motherfucker there is.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah.
Very cool. Anybody?
No? Good.
Anything? All right, man. Well, Josh Beal, Eli Miller, our sound tech Joe, and me, Philip Johnson. It's been our broadcast of Condition Red Radio. We're going to be signing off, so take care of yourself and each other.